It all began on an unusually quiet Saturday morning, the kind where nothing ever seems out of place until it suddenly is. I noticed a man pacing around the neighborhood wearing a black vest with bold white letters that read, HOA Cop. At first glance, he looked somewhat official, holding a clipboard, a radio clipped to his shoulder, and walking with the confidence of someone who believed he had real authority. But the longer I watched, the more things felt wrong. His vest looked cheap, like something ordered online, and his vehicle wasn't marked, just an old pickup parked awkwardly near the curb. Neighbors glanced his way but avoided interacting, clearly confused by his presence. He walked door to door, pretending to inspect houses, scribbling notes, and issuing warnings no one had ever heard of. It was obvious he enjoyed the power he thought he had, even though none of it was real. Maria was doing what any 8-year-old should be doing on a peaceful weekend, riding her little pink bike back and forth in front of her house, her helmet bobbing as she laughed and tried to keep her balance. She wasn't bothering anyone, just enjoying the kind of simple freedom kids cherish. But the fake HOA cop suddenly fixated on her, marching toward her with heavy, angry steps, as if she had committed some serious crime. He began yelling at her about trespassing and breaking community rules, words an 8-year-old wouldn't even understand. Maria froze, confused, then tried to pedal away, her tiny legs shaky with fear. That's when everything shifted. He reached into the back of his truck, pulled out a baseball bat, and in a shocking moment of rage, swung it not at the bike, but at her head. The sound of that hit would haunt the neighborhood forever. Daniel's truck came tearing down the street like a storm that had been holding itself back for far too long. He didn't even wait for the engine to stop rumbling before he jumped out, the door still swinging behind him. Neighbors stepped aside as he pushed through the crowd with a look no one had ever seen on his face. Fear, fury, and something deeper, something only a parent could understand. He dropped to his knees beside Maria, hands shaking as he brushed the hair away from her bleeding temple. He whispered to her softly, promising she wasn't alone, promising she'd be okay. But the moment he stood up, everything changed. His entire posture shifted. He wasn't just a father anymore. He was a man trained to find monsters. Except this time, the monster had touched his own child. His eyes locked onto Derek with a coldness that warned exactly what was coming next. Derek stood there, gripping the bat like it made him important, puffing out his chest as if he still believed he had any control over the situation. But the second Daniel rose to his feet, the entire street felt the shift. He walked toward Derek with a calmness that was far more terrifying than anger. The kind of stillness that comes from someone who knows exactly what they're capable of. Derek tried to defend himself, rambling about HOA rules and community violations. But the words sounded hollow even to him. In one swift motion, Daniel grabbed the bat, twisted it out of Derek's hands, and slammed him back against his own truck. Phones went up instantly, neighbors recorded, whispering, realizing they were witnessing the truth unravel. And when Daniel pulled out his badge and pressed it hard against Derek's chest, the last of Derek's fake authority crumbled, leaving him exposed for what he truly was. The moment Daniel revealed his badge, the deputies who had just arrived snapped into action. Neighbors rushed forward, showing videos, sharing everything they had witnessed over the past month's fake citations, threats, harassment, all the lies Derek had used to control the neighborhood. It didn't take long for the full picture to form. Derek wasn't just pretending to be someone he wasn't. He had crossed the line in the worst possible way. Deputies moved in, cuffing him while he shouted excuses, insisting he was protecting the community, but no one was buying it anymore. Daniel stood nearby, silent but unshakably firm, making sure every detail was documented. Within hours, Derek was officially booked on multiple serious charges: felony assault with a deadly weapon, impersonating an officer, child endangerment, and obstruction of justice. And, for the first time, the man who acted untouchable finally realized he wasn't above the law, he was bound by it. Maria's recovery wasn't quick, and it wasn't easy, but it was nothing short of a miracle. After surgery and days of uncertainty, she slowly began to open her eyes, squeeze her father's hand, and respond to the gentle voices around her. Daniel never left her side, not for a single moment. The neighborhood that once kept quiet now stepped forward in ways no one expected, bringing meals, sending messages, offering help, and finally standing united instead of afraid. People who had been intimidated by Derek for months found their courage again, sharing their stories openly and supporting one another like a real community should. And as Maria grew stronger, the neighborhood did too. They understood now that true safety doesn't come from someone pretending to have power. It comes from people who protect each other, people who choose what's right, even when it's difficult. In the end, justice didn't just punish a bully, it brought a community back to life.